Morning, beloved ones. It's morning in Pune. The birds are out, and here I am again. Yesterday there was a question from a friend who is dealing with a situation. And so what happened is it started a processing within me to look into something. Actually for myself, really. Firstly for me. How does this affect me? What is this for me? How can I have an answer for this if I haven't got a deep understanding of this within myself? So basically, like most of us, I'm sure we've all had this experience, that we are deepening on coming into a place within ourselves where we are questioning what we've been taught, what we have been told, what we've been fed. And we are sort of looking into it and going, actually that doesn't feel right, or it doesn't really taste right, or something like that. And so we are changing our perspectives on what we have been brought up to believe or understand or feel, and what we have been given by those people, I would hope to say in the most caring of ways that they gave it to us to help us to survive in the society and be safe. Though at some point we start questioning and in a way rebelling and wanting to find out, who am I? What is this for me? How does this work? Doesn't quite smell right, doesn't quite taste right. It has something of the truth in it, but there's something else. So we usually get to this point, and this is, I suppose, what most people would say, they become a seeker, if you want to put a label on it. But basically it's like you just start questioning. Most people will go through this on some level. Some will go more into the spiritual, I suppose. Some will go maybe more into the world. But there will be this questioning as we evolve and grow. This is, I think, a very natural progression. It's an intelligent thing to do, not to just believe, but to question. Children start questioning actually quite early. What is this? Why do we have to do this? You know, they give you 100 questions at once and they're quite funny with it. We think it's quite funny, but actually what they're doing is they're trying to find out their own truth. They're trying to find stuff out. So we have to be very aware how we communicate with them, with integrity, sometimes to say that we don't know. Where I am also sometimes to say that I don't have the answer for you. You will find the answer. I may hold the space for you to find the answer for yourself. We are all so unique with all our different ins and outs and all the things that have happened to us in our life, because we are all unique human beings, and that is beautiful. Then we will all have our own intricacies, our own little ways, our own wounds, our own happinesses. Some of us will be empaths, some of us will not be empaths, some of us, these are all words anyway. We are all unique, and that is a beauty in this world, that we are all unique. And sometimes we'll do wonderful things, and sometimes we'll be not so aware, and maybe we'll fuck up, and that's also okay. So what was happening with my friend was that she was feeling very judged by a very dear friend of hers. Somebody that she was, as she said, was her best friend. I am also going through my own stuff with this, again looking at, for me, obviously it comes down to family often. Family is your closest family, will be able to trigger obviously your deepest stuff, because they've been around often the longest. So I've been looking at my stuff, and what I've been seeing is that we, I'm seeing it with other people, I'm seeing it with myself, that we are what we are often seeing in the other. It's very interesting for us to look back and see, okay, am I doing this on a much more deeper level? Am I doing the same, but actually using the name of spirituality and thinking that I'm being so spiritual, or I'm being so thing and high and mighty, and actually feeling so superior. And I'm realizing that I'm often doing the same pattern that I'm seeing in them, but I'm just doing it on maybe a more subtle level, maybe a more hidden level. And what is it for me? It doesn't take it away from them, but sometimes, well, mostly there is always something mirroring something for us that we need to understand within ourselves. So for me, what have I been understanding just recently? I have been saying to my mother, actually, I've been saying that she is often expecting people to behave a certain way towards her and to support her and help her when she needs. And she is very disappointed when they are not doing that for her, or it's not coming from certain people that she expects it to come from. And what I have seen, that I listen to this, and then as her daughter, and maybe trying, I don't know what, trying something, I am aware of what she's saying, and I am very conscious not to do that. I am very conscious to try and support her in the way in which she is wanting to be supported. Just recently I have understood that my mother is a giver, and she's very naturally that way, and I have taken that pattern from her. And in that, there is a difficulty for her to truly receive. And I see that within myself on subtle levels, that it is very easy for me to be there for people, but it's not always easy for me to allow myself to receive. And then on some level, I am feeling sad about it because people are not sometimes helping me when I need, or they're not supporting me. And I suddenly realize that on the deepest level, it is me that is not allowing that. Or it is me that has set up a certain pattern with this person, that we play a certain game. That maybe I am the giver and they are the receiver. When it comes to the point where maybe there is something that I need, these people have never been expected or been allowed to do that. So they don't do it. Now, saying that, I have also realized that one, I am learning to receive, and secondly, how to put this? I see that we have an expectation that it should come from a particular area or a particular person in a particular way. And when one can drop this expectation, then one finds that it actually does come. But it may come from a totally different source than the one you think it's going to come from. And because we are closed, because it's not coming from the place we want it to come from, or our minds have an expectation it should come from, we often miss it, and we don't realize that we are being handed something and we're not even seeing it. As I move more into the space, it becomes subtler and subtler. And there is a deep understanding and trust within me, beyond anything that is really logical, that I know that I am supported by this existence, that I know that I am given everything that I need, even if that comes sometimes as a little bit feels like a punch in the nose, that is also needed. There is also something in that. There is also a gift in that. And sometimes mine is that I'm walking into the wall and going, no, I want to go through here, I want to go through here, I want to go this way. And I'm just hitting the wall, and I'm stubborn. I have a very strong mind, and I've been a very strong-willed woman to get to do what I want to do and everything. And in that's fine. But I am learning, and I'm the most stubborn of us, I am learning that if I am hitting the wall, if I keep bumping my nose into the wall, I have to learn to just stop a minute and look and see where is this existence pointing for me to go. Why am I not listening? Why am I not listening to the energies of existence? And ultimately, it's a very strange thing to say, is that eventually you stop caring as an attachment. You stop expecting as an attachment to something particular. You stop loving as an attachment. Then, in a way, you become open and available to being just loving, to being just caring, to being receiving. But there is a point where we have to look and see why I'm so identified that it has to come from here. At some stage, as you move on in your journey, people will not be where you are. And they will not understand you. And they may not be able to give to you. Because actually you might, as far as they're concerned, be a pain in the arse to be around. Because once you start getting clear, you cannot play the game with them anymore. It's like, as I've said to some of my people, it's like playing ping pong with each other. You hit the ball to them, they hit the ball back. You hit the ball to them, they hit the ball back. And you keep playing this game. You go round in the circle. And at some stage, you just put the racket down. You don't fight, you don't do anything, you just put the bat down. But when you put the bat down, and the person will keep trying to hit the ping pong ball at you, because they want you to still play the game with them. And when you're not playing the game, and they will get angry with you, and they get pissed off with you. And if you are the one that is in the more maturity, you go into yourself, and you just put the racket down and say, no, I'm not playing this game anymore. It's not nurturing me. And for a time, you might have to step away from people. And your best friends may become your worst enemies. And I suppose for me, I have to stop trying to be the loving daughter who is trying to get my mother's attention, trying to be number one, trying to be right, trying to fit myself into something. That is not truly me. Because the opposite response is then, for myself, is that I have to get angry because I need to fight then, because it gets too much, this bending, this giving in, this compromising. And then I will fight, and then of course I will automatically look like I am the wrong one. But actually I'm just protecting myself and saying I want to have my own opinion. Now, if we want our own opinion and we want to go our own way, we need to respect even those that maybe are not so aware or whatever, or are still in the thing, that they also want their own way. They also believe in what they're saying, and they cannot see where you are. So basically, if you're not careful, you end up judging them. They are judging you because you're moving away from them and they're not playing ping pong with them anymore. But if you're not careful, the reverse side of it, in a much more subtle way, is actually you start doing the same and you start judging them for being where they are, and they cannot do anything different. And then it is still judgment. So all I'm saying is that if it's not working, you have to look and see if you need to take a different way for a while. You know, and I don't mean to be against vegans and vegetarians and stuff, and I'm not against them. I think eventually we will all maybe need to go vegan, purely for the fact that for the planet to sustain us, maybe. Or maybe we will actually not need so much food. I don't know, that one's not clear yet. But I find that many people, for the best intentions in the world and from their feeling heart towards animals, they are very aggressive to the human beings who are not quite as aware yet or as sensitive yet to understand the suffering of animals. But what I realize is that it's wonderful to become more aware and to eat because you feel. But when it becomes a moralistic stand, then it becomes a judging again. It doesn't mean it's a wrong judging or whatever. But once it's like we're all standing there and saying how cruel we are being to the animals and how we're beating them up and how we're doing these things, and which we are. We are farming in the most unaware way, which we will either stop or not stop. But do you not see, when you're doing this to the human beings who are not as aware and not so sensitive yet to this, that you are also beating them up, that you are also punching them on the nose, that you are also being very unkind to them? If they cannot see, they cannot see. If they don't know, by beating them up and by shouting at them and by whatever, is not going to change them. So if you are, in a way, a little bit more aware, then maybe we need to become a little bit more intelligent and find a way where we're not doing the same thing back. Because anger is anger. Aggression is aggression. And there's nothing wrong with having a good fight, and there's nothing wrong if somebody's fucking with you to tell them to fuck off if you have to. And there's nothing wrong with having a good shout at somebody. But be clean with it. What I see if we're not careful is we are doing the same patterns in a more subtle level to give us an understanding, to come to a deeper understanding. So I don't know if this makes any sense to you. Basically, I'm myself processing things, of course, and as I understand things deeper within myself, I do these little videos. I don't know if it resonates with you. I'm sure it resonates with somebody, because that's why it is here, that's why it comes, and that's why I call it Suchira Gibberish. As I say, if it resonates with you, enjoy it. If it doesn't, you don't have to watch it, you don't have to listen to it. It is just my putting my gibberish out. Anyway, my darlings, I ask you, when you are seeing something very strongly on the outside as a mirror, maybe it's an unconscious mirror, it doesn't matter, but you're seeing something, and you see that you can say seeing that, because with your seeing you are seeing that, but see if there is a subtle judgmental attitude that somebody should be different, they should think like you, and just be aware that don't make an excuse for this person, but be aware they might not be in a space in this moment to be able to change that or to be able to see that. And if you can, you may have to take some space from them. And you might have to ask yourself, what do I need to do for me? Without subtly or with a spiritual attitude beating somebody else up. And ultimately look and see, where am I being nurtured and supported. And start to be aware of where that is coming from, and start to let go of maybe the people and the places for a little while where you are not being nurtured and you're holding on to old habits and patterns. I'm really talking to myself. I'm in a situation at the moment where I'm also looking to see, what do I need to do for me? I am happy to be there for the other, but if it is out of balance and I am not being nurtured by it, and I am choosing to still keep saying, I'm going there, I'm going to do that, I want to go there, I want it to come from here, I want it to come from this person, I want to come in, and I want them to do it the way in which I want. I'm realizing that that's also a part of me that is not clear, that is refining. Be kind to yourself. Be aware. Let your intelligence grow. As you become more aware, you will become more innately intelligent. You will know things. Catch yourself. The people that are not doing this yet, they have less responsibility because they are still not choosing maybe to want to be aware. But we people that are out here and we are doing the work, we have to be this world impeccable again. We have to constantly step up, and we are the ones that have to keep cleaning our asses, you know, we have to keep as clean as we can. And we have to watch the games that we are playing with ourselves, because it becomes very, very subtle. And I don't particularly like the word ego, but the subtle ego, the spiritual ego, the person who looks like they are totally aware, and in their actions they are being very unconscious. And this is when you're sitting there bragging about how aware you are, and you choose to teach people or share with people, which it may be beautiful that you can share with people and teach people, but you have to constantly keep looking at your own stuff. You have to constantly keep refining the diamond that you are, without making yourself feel guilty. But existence gives us lots of opportunities for wake-up calls. Okay? Somehow it's a very peaceful day today. I think it might even be the mid-blessing in the Tibetan Pulsing calendar. First week has maybe just finished. So it's good if this is the case. I'm not sure if it is. I haven't even looked at the diary, but it feels somehow like that, a peaceful sort of day in the midst of the turmoil. And look and see how you're feeling from inside. The mid-blessing is about what is coming from inside you. The later blessing days at the end of the Tibetan Chi Chai, if you follow it, the last 3 days, they are the blessing days to see what comes to you from the outside, to see if you have been walking this energy in a correct and beautiful way. Anyway, enjoy your day. I wish you a lovely one. I wish you the clarity to see yourself, to not judge yourself, to see other people, to see them, to see all of them, but somehow to try, as we mature, to let everybody make mistakes sometime and realize we are all where we are and we can't necessarily be anywhere else. You can't give somebody your eyes. You can't give them your way of hearing. You can't give them what you are. Everybody is unique. But give yourself the gift of turning it and looking, taking a bit of time and looking and saying, what is this touching in me? What is my expectation of this? And maybe not hit the wall, maybe you go somewhere else a little bit. You're like a tree, you move in the wind, you let your roots be strong, but you just move when the wind comes. You don't have to stand there and get knocked over. Okay? Even trees that don't have legs can move. Bamboos can move in the wind. I wish you all the love in the world, and this life is beautiful. But yes, we are going to be tested the more we move. Okay, bye from this crazy woman this morning. Love you. Bye.